A bit of a different podcast this week. This one was recorded on location at Commsverse. Landis kindly set me up with one of their customers for a conversation about their team's journey. This is DERTOUR. They are the second largest tour operator in Europe and a key player in international travel and tourism. And I talked to Gunnar there about their journey on Microsoft Teams and how they're using Landis Contact Center to meet some of their requirements. Really enjoyed the conversation. It was great to do a live on location conversation with the customer. Hope you enjoy the show. Hey everybody, welcome back to the podcast. This is the first time we've done a podcast on location. We're at Commsverse. So we're testing out doing a live recording podcast. And Landis have kindly given me a kind of opportunity to talk to one of their customers about Teams and the Teams journey. And Landis, maybe you'd like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, hi. My name is Gunnar Meyer, and I'm head of IT service delivery at DERTOUR.
Awesome. Gunnar, thanks for the time. So first off, could you tell us a little bit about the company and what you do, and then your Teams journey? Like, how did you end up using Teams as a platform?
Yeah, we're a travel company. We are based in Switzerland, but we belong to a bigger company that is from Germany. It's called DERTOUR, and it's part of the Rewe Group. And we sell travel around the world. And within that company, I am responsible for the service delivery. And I also helped engage with bringing teams up to speed. And then we were prepared in 2019 with Teams. But then the pandemic hit and we needed to postpone a bit. So in late 2020, we started rolling out Teams in our company.
Awesome. Where were you before Teams? Did you come from Skype for Business, or were you on a traditional PBX? How did that?
We had a traditional PBX. We went with Avaya.
Cool.
Yeah.
So you've gone from Avaya to Teams and,
yes.
and moved your voice kind of post-pandemic.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, and in the beginning it was a big struggle for the users because with Avaya they had a control center,
right,
where you could see what was going on your system. But with Teams, with Microsoft Teams, in the beginning, you didn't have anything.
Yeah. It's good. There's a bunch of stuff that Avaya does and that Teams doesn't necessarily do natively.
Exactly. So then we were looking around in the market, what call center solution we could have. And then our technical team found that there is a very good solution that's called Landis, and it is free to try out. And then we just hopped on and fiddled around with it a bit, and then we got on the Landis train.
Awesome. And that's 3 years ago roughly, so you've been using Landis for a number of years now.
Exactly.
So did it start with a certain use case and expand? Has it been the same use case all the time? How's that journey gone?
It started with the use case that we have service centers where our retail shops call in, and we needed to monitor these calls specifically. Mm-hmm. So it's not an end customer.
It's like an internal use case.
It's an internal, yes. And we pretty much went with that, but we needed to elaborate that. And Landis was a very good solution for us.
Yeah. Awesome. And have you changed that config over the years? I know Landis have added features as we've gone down the line. So has that changed as a kind of configuration?
Because Landis was giving us more features with new releases, which we always changed. So we embraced every new feature that was out there. So we're constantly changing with the platform.
Awesome. And how do you have someone like contact center is interesting because sometimes it's a separate service owner and a separate department. It sounds like your story is pretty integrated. Is it the same people responsible for Teams and Landis, or is there a separate?
It's the same with the same team for Teams and Landis. But I have to say, because Landis gives us the possibility with the permissions to be very granular, we can shift some permissions out to the business. So the management can do the settings for call queues and for user call prioritization.
Awesome. So you delegate some of that control to the kind of people that need to do it, and that doesn't then rest on IT. That's awesome.
Exactly. It's more the easier controls that they can do by themselves, and the more delicate controls we do in IT.
Cool. And how did your users get on? Because it's quite a change moving from Avaya to Teams. Landis is obviously very visually similar to Teams. Like, how did you deal with the change there? Was it all right from a kind of agent point of view?
At the very beginning, they only had Teams. So
this was like a big upgrade for them.
They really, because we came from Avaya, then we got Teams, and they had nothing.
Right.
Nothing
So they were native Teams first, and they were saying this isn't as much as we need.
Exactly.
And what was it that they were particularly missing? Was it routing capabilities? Was it reporting? Something else? What was the thing that really got them?
It was the live reporting mainly, and seeing how many agents are online, because you couldn't steer that with Teams, and I think you still can't. So they needed to steer their teams accordingly, because we don't have too many people. So some agents need to help out in other teams and sign into other call queues. So it is quite a moving system we have.
Yeah. So it's not like just 5 people and this is their full-time job. It's sometimes people help out here, sometimes people help out there.
Exactly. And we need to see how many people are signed in, and then we also need to see how many calls are coming in, so that we can shift people around and tell them, okay, you need to sign up there now.
And are those people physically in the same space, or are they distributed different offices or home? How does that work?
That depends on the department. In the service center department, most of them are physically here. Some are working from home. And there are other departments from the travel specialists from some regions, like the Asia region. They have a different setup. Sometimes all people work from home.
Right. So obviously Teams and Landis allow you to do that. It doesn't matter whether you're physically together or distributed.
Exactly.
Even agents in different geos, different countries, it can all work together.
Yeah, it's very simple to use. So by facilitating that, we can give people the opportunity to work from home. So that's also a benefit for the employee.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And how's your Teams journey going in general? Are you now fully over to Teams and everybody's using it? Are you still on that journey?
No, we are all on Teams now. Nobody's on Avaya anymore. We had one department that was lagging behind a little bit, because they were really keen on getting everything right. But because the Landis platform had given us the opportunity with all the features they have, and this last move has also happened now. So we're all on Teams and Landis.
Amazing. And as you kind of look to the future, Landis have got some roadmap items. Is there anything from Teams or from Landis you're looking for or excited about coming, kind of from a features perspective?
Definitely the AI features that are coming up, and everybody's talking
about
that.
I really want to know what part of what is exciting you about AI. Like, what's the use case for you?
For me, it's specifically with the historical data from the calls, that we can see and process the data, or AI processes the data for us, and we can then see how the call sentiment was for the user, and how did the agents perform, and how many missed calls we had, and to better understand the data that is behind that, because as a human being to process that, it's just impossible.
I feel these scenarios are quite funny. We collect all the data, but nobody really has the time or capabilities to drive insight out. And AI has this potential to really help us understand, well, actually, if you look at the trend at a higher level, these are the challenging days, or this is the distribution that needs to be better.
Exactly. We also have call recordings enabled, and with that specifically, it will be, I think AI will be helpful with filtering out all that stuff that is not really necessary, and giving us insights, and maybe in a compressed form where we can better analyze what was going on in the call.
Awesome. Do you, bearing in mind you've got an internal use case, so it's not end customer facing, do you foresee a time when AI potentially could start servicing some of those basic questions? Do you think it will end up being kind of customer facing, or do you think it will, for you, will it more be a back office capability?
I think there will come a time when some questions are customer facing, but not all, because we have some complex cases where we still need a human being to handle the call.
Yeah.
But we have other questions that are always the standard, like you have some travel route and you need some specific information about that. That's easy to get.
Yeah, the answer's the same every time.
Exactly. So we don't need a human being for that. So this will go away, I think, in the future. But we still, for the complex cases, we still need the human being. So it will be a mixture between AI is more helping out for the human beings to perform better.
Yeah. Awesome. Cool. Well, I really appreciate it. I hope you've enjoyed your day at Commsverse. I really appreciate you taking this time to tell us. It's always interesting to hear, like, every customer journey is slightly different. And I feel like you're a good person to talk to from a multi-years with Landis to kind of understand where it's been valuable for you. So thank you.
You're welcome.
Great.
Great.
Cheers.
Thanks.